Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In this fourth episode, over the next few minutes, I'll be showing you how I've cut various holes in the body, ready for test fitting of the lights, and how I've been working on the engine bay, filling in some of the gaps and sanding it ready so I can get as much done as I can before the body goes off to the painters and gets finished, ready to come back, and I can actually fit everything for real. I'm actually recording this video again. I did an intro on this a few weeks ago and I'm stacking it up with other footage. But I've just realised in post-production I'd cut my own head off. So perils of being a new YouTuber. I'm Roy Farr, this time with a full head hopefully, and this is my build of a Gardner Douglas 427 Mark IV. Okay, next task. I need to cut the holes for each of the two headlights. Now the headlights are a P700, so that's a 7-inch headlight. The holes are obviously slightly smaller than that, and actually from the mould it looks like there's a score around here that looks like it's probably the right size, but I'm not going to take any chances. I'm going to put some masking tape across the centre here and work out the centre point, and then it's a case of cutting this hole to the right size. You can drill individual holes and then cut around with a pad saw. I'm going to have a go with the Dremel, which has a circle cutter attachment, and we'll see how we get on with that. Okay. Now this is the Dremel circle cutter, so it comes shipped like this, and just for safety this is the wrong way around, so we take that out, turn that over, put it in the right place underneath, and then we tighten this screw back up. And then the idea with this is that we'll use this center punch to sit in the hole I'm about to drill. And you slide this back and forth for the size of the hole you want to drill. So in this case, if I want a 7mm hole there, 70mm hole there, it would be sort of round about there, and then you would put that in there, start with the Dremel, and then you would spin that round, and that would cut the hole. So let's set this up. Bit of trial and error, methinks, for the first time, but let's set this up and see how this goes. Let's start with the drill just to cut that center hole. It's easy enough. Okay, let's have a look. That's better. Perfect. Okay. Right, we now just need to decide the size of this circle. Now, the manual says between 75 and 78mm to draw two circles. So let's just take a look at what we've got here at the moment. At the moment, that circle marking on the body there looks like it's 83mm, so it's quite a bit wider than what the manual suggests. And 82 to 83 on that side too. So I think we'll just check and make sure we're not about to drill a hole that's too big. Okay, let's have a look at this headlight then. There we go, there's a classic style P700 headlight. There's the bucket that sits on the back, the adjustment screw, two adjustment screws for the headlight aiming. You'll see the chrome bezel surround there. And this is the cup bucket that's going to sit in the back there. And this, put that down gently, will be fitted over the back to seal it nicely against the body. So actually we can use the dimensions of this to see whether or not we've got the right size. Now it's a bit flexible of course, but let's just have a look up here. So yeah, it's actually a little bit smaller than the markings on the outside here. So I was right not to just go straight ahead and start cutting. So we're a good few millimetres in from there, so we'll cut a smaller hole. Okay, I'm going to use this as an approximate guide for now. If I had my pencil. We take a gentle line around the inside of this. So it's not going to be perfect because it's going to be flexible, but given that we've marked up where the Dremel circle cutter will go, that will keep us honest with a straight line, and it shouldn't matter that this is flexing around all over the place. So if I cut in here, you can see just the difference there. That's the original line on the mould, and this is the inside line. I'm going to start cutting this line first and we'll see how well that fits, and we can always open it up again a bit later, but that will be much harder because once I've cut this section out, there'll be nowhere to put the circle cutter. There'll just be a big hole here, so I think I might actually go just slightly above that just to save a bit of effort later. I'll go in between the two, so we'll come up to about here. Let's do a couple of just test holes to see what that looks like. See how far out we are. Come up just a notch there, I think. Yeah, so let's have a look. So that would bring us just outside. My line just inside the one on the body. Just outside my line there, which is good. And then the same there. Okay, I think we're good to go. So let's just create a few small holes in here first. Let's have a look and see where we are. Okay, yeah, well within the outer lines there, just outside mine. I think that's good. Right, now the Dremel comes with a normal drill bit, so that's just for drilling the holes, and it also comes with a cutter bit, so I'm just going to change that over. Okay, we changed over to the cutter bit now. Put the Dremel back in here. Should slot straight in there like that. And now let's just see how this is likely to work. So, time to fit this, test fit this lovely Lucas P700 headlight. It actually has a couple of adjustment screws, but there's one retaining screw here which I've just removed, and then in essence the lamp should just twist out from the adjustment screws. We should just be able to remove this carefully. That's it. We can thread the wiring back through here. There we go. So that's the unit out. Actually looks like there's a few holes on the body marked already, but we will of course just undo all of this and just make sure it's going to fit where it needs to, rather than drilling holes and finding out they're in the wrong place. Let's just undo these two slightly. Yeah, the adjustment screws are at the top and at 9 o'clock. We're looking at something like that roughly. And sure enough, there's one hole marked just behind here that I can see from previously, so we'll have one in there. There's another one just on the edge of the flash line there. I'll actually take that screw out and mark through there, so we get that spot on. Yeah, okay, right, let's pop the rubber flange off the back here. Okay, so we're going to drill a couple of holes at the top here. One up here and one at the 12 o'clock, one at the 9 o'clock position for the adjustment screws. Use another one of these stepper drill bits. One needs a little bit more. Let's see how that's looking. Not bad, except we are a couple of millimeters off center, so I'm going to take this one out slightly to the right, this one slightly to the left, and that'll give us just a little bit of adjustment to the left. That looks pretty good to me, nice and central. Okay, now you're supposed to use self-tapping screws. For the next pieces, there's actually one here, here, here and here. We've got 4. Technically we could have a 5th one down there as well. But at the moment I'm going to stick with those 4. And we're going to drill 4 small pilot holes in there. Just tiny little holes, which we can use to help the self-tapping screws. Okay, I've got a tiny little 1.5mm drill bit here, which I'm just going to use to create a few pilot holes for the self-tapping screws. And we'll put the 5th one at the bottom, in case we decide to use that later. There we go. Now, self-tapping screws do exactly what they say. They are designed to cut a hole as they screw in. Now, the thing with these is you don't want to put them in and out too many times, otherwise you'll just end up wrecking the hole and needing bigger and bigger self-tapping screws. So, I'm just going to use one for the time being and just see how that goes in. Do this one. There we go, nice and secure. We won't do all the others, but That's the idea, that's nice and even. I can see all around the edge there, nice and tidy. And once we've had the body shell painted, we'll be able to fill each of these screws back in properly, fix those back in, and mount the headlight finally once it's all done. But for now, that's just a quick test fit, so everything's in the right place for when we get the body back from the painters. There we go. Now we just do the other side and we're done. Okay, so now we're going to get in and install the front indicators, which sit just in here. So same as before, let's get in there and drill a 30mm hole with the stepper drill bit. Thank you, neighbour with your motorbike. Let's get in there and have that, get that hole going in there. Okay, pretty good. Looking good. Sometimes these things are quite difficult to fit, and actually it's because, well, you can see this very well, but these two bolts that are included here, they actually get welded into the back of the unit, and you can just about see just how wonky they can be. So you might think you've got it straight, but actually you always need to enlarge the holes just a touch so you can actually get a bit of alignment. That's really not straight on the back of that brand new unit, but regardless, made to measure, cut to fit. Let's do the next one. Now we've also got the side repeaters, the side indicators to fit. Now these aren't particularly complicated and there's no other drilling required, so that's what they look like. It's a simple push fit. There's a slight ridge on the inside there. It's a sort of rubberized plastic, so the idea will be they will simply fit through there, and then you'll press to fit, they'll pop into place and they'll stay there. So seeing as there's nothing really else to do and the hole is pretty much spot on, I'm not going to bother fitting those just yet until the body's all painted and we're all good. The only other piece to go over the top of them are a small chrome basil surround just to finish them off. So that's it, no need to fit those now. So it's on to the rear lights now. So a traditional Cobra has two Lucas style lights, a stop/brake light and an indicator light, one sitting just above the other in a vertical fashion. What we're going to do now is we're going to cut a couple of holes, 30mm holes for the lights themselves, then line them up and then cut the horizontal smaller holes just for the couple of bolts to go through and just secure them into the back of the body. So here we are, we've got two of the holes cut now. 30mm holes top and bottom there, and then just a couple of holes either side for those screws, and we've got the same this side ready to go. So this is what the standard Lucas style indicators look like. A nice orange lens on the front, a couple of screws holding that on, and then on the back we've got the protrusion where obviously the bulb and the electrics fit, and then there's a couple of bolts here that come through from the lens side, just with a couple of nuts and washers on. So we're just going to pop those off for a second and put those safely in the boot for the time being, and then we'll just give this a test fit on the car here. When I originally looked at these, I actually thought the brake lights or the stop lights went at the bottom and the indicators at the top, but you look at every other picture of a Cobra, they seem to be the other way around, and I imagine that's probably something to do with the car being quite low and the brake lights having to be a little bit higher. So let's just see how well these guys fit in here. It probably needs a little bit of opening up slightly, but you get the idea. That's roughly where that will sit. I'm just going to leave that sitting like that for a moment. It's actually slightly proud from the bodywork at the moment because it hasn't quite clipped in. We'll just take a look at what these two look like together and see how they line up. There we go, the brake light, stop light, exactly the same style. Just feed those cables through there. And there we go, they will look roughly like that. There's probably a little bit of alignment I need to do to pull one of those holes around slightly, so I can just twist this one just a touch more and get those spot on vertically aligned, but that's roughly what they will look like. There we go, and that's the other side roughly test fitted. Okay, last thing I'm going to have a go at today is try and clear out all of these little fiberglass joins here on the back of the engine bulkhead. Can clean all of that out, and then that can be filled, sanded back and smoothed. So I'm just going to go around this with a file and see if I can just take some of this off. This is just a small flat needle file. Again, this is really just to give it a bit of a key, so the filler's got a bit more chance to stick to the hole completely without getting caught in all the fiberglass. Of course, I suppose it would be possible to get another Dremel attachment and just go whipping through this. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect because it's all going to be covered in filler, but it's just about trying to move back some of the fiberglass mat so the filler's actually going to be flush when you put it on. What you don't want, there you go, it's me slipping already. What you don't want is a load of fiberglass sticking through the filler, because that won't leave you with a good finish. Okay, so next part, on the right hand side of the engine bay here, we need to cut 3 small holes for brake lines and some other hoses that come through, and they need to be 10mm and 15mm. So again, with the step drill, this time I've marked this at 10mm so we don't go through any further. Let's just cut those. round those out from the inside of that wing in a moment. Now we're going to go up to 15mm. Now this drill bit only goes up to 20 in 2mm increments, so I'm going to mark this one off at 14. And then I'll probably open them out just a touch more by hand. So let's go to 14mm with these. A little bit more sanding around the edges in there and then we'll be good. There we go, all done. So that's it for now for this video. Next time we'll be cutting a hole in the new bonnet, ready to fit the bonnet scoop to allow some air in to that wonderful Chevy V8 engine. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, thanks for watching.